Hello, Rainer. Rainer is working remotely from St. Johann in Tyrol, one of the most beautiful places I've seen in Austria. And he has a great meeting today internally, so he can't be here, unfortunately. But actually, we have never met personally, so we are totally fine being hybrid like this. So we will meet for the first time in a couple of weeks at the grand opening of the new work environment at Egger's headquarters in St. Johann. So our dynamic is perfectly fine when we are just digitally. Yes. Today we want to talk about what you can read over here. I'm based in Vienna, but I will tell you a couple of things about our company, but just to show you, Rainer is doing the switches, so okay. I have to wait until he... No, that's fine, Rainer, you can continue. Yeah, these are our professional photos. So if you need anything, these are our contact details. If you have any questions to the things I'm going to tell you today, please ask, because Rainer is not joining the discussion tables later. So if you have any questions, please feel free. We will have some kind of interview after a short input I will give you on ABV and our company. And afterwards, we just have an open, free discussion with Rainer to talk about his experiences with us as M.O.O.CON and as well with ABV, and what huge challenges we had to fight in the last months together. Yes, you can go ahead. Thank you. Just some information about M.O.O.CON. M.O.O.CON stands for Mensch, Organisation, Objekt Consulting, so not M.O.O.CON, but that's fine as well. I've heard it 100 times before. We are in the business since 25 years now. We're just 90 people, which is kind of small because we are handling projects in all different sizes, from small NGOs like Caritas or Ärzte ohne Grenzen to big industries like Egger or Adidas or Daimler. So we have all businesses covered. And I'm located in our headquarters in Vienna, so I went by train yesterday to Frankfurt, but as you can see, we have an office in Frankfurt as well, and my partner, my colleague, Michael, is going to be here tomorrow, so if you want to have a chat with him, he will be here tomorrow. Thank you. ABV. I think you as a target group, I don't have to tell you what ABV is. You all know that it stands for activity-based working. It's a concept that was developed quite a couple of years ago, and we just implemented it in Egger's headquarters, and this is what we are going to talk about today. But just a short nice input, because the Egger employees thought all these three things might be true if they're coming back to the office after the corona crisis. So they expected to have an open plan office, like a huge, like the worst pictures you can even imagine from the film or movies or the newspapers, and they thought they have to move around constantly with a small box and just put their stuff every 10 minutes and switch their desks, and they thought we might install some slides or things nobody uses and nobody needs in an office, but of course, that's not true. What we want to achieve with companies that decided to go for an ABV concept is so much more than that. And Rainer, you can just switch, and there are some keywords we want to achieve with them, and we wanted to achieve with Egger as well. And how we do that is a very interesting process, because we are totally participative. So we include all employees, we include all the top management and also the leadership, as well as the smallest hierarchy levels in the process. And Rainer, if you want to switch as well, sorry for these pauses. Short overview what we do at M.O.O.CON. So as I said, we include everybody, and you can just go ahead and show everything. We had to face new challenges as well during the crisis, so we came up with these Miro things that we have seen before, and we did all the workshop with Egger in Miro as well. So we had a couple of months process with Egger just digitally. We are trying to involve everyone that likes to be involved. Some employees we will never convinced, but that's fine as well. And we try to be innovative, as you can see here on the left bottom side. This is our VR tool, where people have the chance to go through the new working environment just before we do the rebuild, and we build everything up, and we try to think big. So we face every challenge we're getting, and we are happy for new challenges. For example, we're starting a whole BIM department right now, so we try to be on the top of the innovations in the world, and we act as a team. As you can see here, this was our meeting last week in Salzburg. After 2 years, we met all the 90 people for the first time. It was awesome. It was really great, but a bit overwhelming to have so many people in one room. But yeah, we try to discuss every topic in the company as a group and decide the big things together, and this is what makes us really special. And I think that's what clients feel as well. And yeah, but Rainer can talk about that later. Yeah, new challenges led to big changes in our company as well, and I think EGA needed to face them as well. And Rainer will mention some huge changes they are going to have at EGA regarding Corona. And yeah, just go ahead, Rainer. I'm a fast speaker, so yes. And because the most important topic is the experiences Rainer had, so I will just go through these slides very quickly, and you all know them because I think you all experienced the same things. So the effects of mobile work on the world of work, we need to decentralize, we need to think about third places, we need to open up our boundaries, our companies, we need to focus more on collaboration and communication. Our office is not just a point for doing your routine work or your focus work. We need to be open-minded for new ways of working. And of course, that's one of the biggest things, the hybrid work. I think we won't get back to the old standard we had before. So we have to come up with new ideas, not only from the ways of working, but as well from the architectural side. And of course, the digital workplace. You won't find any meeting room in the future without these kind of video settings anymore. And this is something we have to prepare for. And that's what we did with EGA as well. And yeah, you can just skip them, Rainer, please. So these are just some photos we need to focus on in the future. Working environments, you need more meeting rooms, more virtual possibilities to work. You need to socialize in the office in the future. And the whole role of the office has changed. And this is what we have to think about and we have to work on with all the clients we have right now. And I can tell you it's a huge request from client side, because everybody now gets that the office needs to change. Okay, thank you. You can skip this as well, because yeah, these are the most important facts that the remote work does not rebound. So we can't go back to the old office, and we can't go back to the old working styles. So we have to have a definition, that's fine, for the new role of the office. And this office is not anymore just a working place, it's a flagship store. And we should think about what the office represents and what the office should offer for the employees and for the externals and clients as well. And yeah, that's what we did with EGA, and I think we should start with your experience, Rainer, and you can just skip to the slide with your beautiful headquarters in St. Johann, and maybe you can just take over and tell us a bit about your company.
Okay, thank you, Julia. Also a warm welcome from my side. I'm happy to have the possibility to talk about our project with new work at EGA. Honestly speaking, as we start the project, we are not thinking about activity-based working. We started our thinking because of our master plan we did for St. Johann, for the whole location. You can see after our office building, the plant itself, and we have some challenges because we are growing in a fast way, our group. So EGA is in the wood processing business. We are quite big. We are producing in 10 different countries with 20 production sites. We have our production sites from Argentina till Russia, and we engage more than 10,000 people, and will have a revenue in this fiscal year of nearly 3 billion. So we are still growing, and therefore our office building is too small, or we were thinking about, or we thought that it will be too small, and therefore in our master plan we were discussing, okay, where should we locate maybe an additional building, and also we have some administrative employees in the plant, and due to safety reasons we want to get them out of the plant. And that's another story, because we started nearly 1.5 years ago a big goal with 0 accidents, so that's also a big culture change. But today we are talking about activity-based working and not about safety reasons. But that was the background. So we were discussing with some advisors, as well with M.O.O.CON Julia and the Undasch Group and Ars Electronica. And we have also our flagship store, the old one in the area of the plant. And also we want to bring them out. And we thought, okay, when we will build a new flagship store, we can build up some office work places above it, and therefore we started the discussion. And after the discussion, after the workshop, we come to the conclusion, okay, that it makes sense, not with the new building, that otherwise we can reinvent our old building. I mean, it's not quite old. You can see we built it in 2015, but we want to start with in some areas, we want to start with this project, with this new working kind of activity-based working. That was the starting point. And as I mentioned, it was at the beginning, it was not the idea of activity-based working. The building itself, I have to say, is a modular construction system, timber frame construction, and it's mainly produced out of our own products. I mean, our products are in the areas of furniture, interior designs, building products, and flooring. So we have that's the biggest flagship store we have, because we build it mainly, without of glass, all out of our own products. In total, it's nearly more than 3,000 cubes of wood we built in this house. Okay, and what is typical for it, we have 4 floors and currently about 250 employees. And because of the project, because we are discussing about more working places, we want to reinvent the first and the second floor. And there was the beginning that the cooperation and the working together with M.O.O.CON started. Yeah, some slides, some ideas how it look like. I have to say that a lot of glass is also used because it should reflect the culture of ECCA. We have a very flat structure, hierarchically, and that should also be reflected in our way of building. But what you're not, or maybe you can see it, we build in a very traditional way. So we have nearly most of the offices are for 4 persons, and then we have bigger offices for our managers, and then we have bigger meeting rooms, and that is all. In the actual situation, we have more or less no project rooms, and it's what's built in a very traditional way.
And these are photos from the old building, so as you can see, the question rises why we should do anything about it, because it looks really awesome. It's a great building. The architect Bruno Moser built it up and planned it, and yeah, this was the status quo where we started the whole process. I think some things. That's fine? Okay. Where we started with EGA, and maybe you can go to the next slide. and we can talk about the most interesting stuff. The goals. When we start a process with a company, we don't just, go in, look at the building and then start planning and move around some tables and paint some walls and that's it. We want to get to know the organization first, and we talk with the top managers about some boundaries, about the goals, and also about how you want to work in 10 years or in 5 years. And this has to be set, honestly, because if you have a green grass, or how you say it, eine grüne Wiese, then you can do nearly anything, and in the end nothing, because you need some guidelines, and you need some, and this comes from the top management, and this is totally fine, but it helps to have some structure in the process as well. And these were the guidelines. And Rainer, what are the most important guidelines, or the biggest changes for your organization?
The biggest changes for our organization were regarding home office. I mean, Corona, everyone was too used to make home office, but before COVID, we had nearly home office only in a very slight way. So we now decided to want to have it for each employee nearly 1 till 2 days per week. That was a big discussion because, as I said, we are a family-owned business. We are more or less traditional, so we also, of course, have managers who want to have his employees right in front of him so that he can see them. So I would say nearly half of managers maybe think like that, and the others are quite open and know that we have to change. And that was the big vision behind the whole project. We know that we have to change because of digitalization and the new technologies. We know that very easy jobs, I have to say, we do not have in the future. So we need more or less more complex jobs, and the more the complexity of jobs are, the more you have to have agile structures, and therefore we need to change. And this is one of the big issues we want to change with this project. Then one really important thing is the status. So where you can see the hierarchy situation, how the managers have an own office. The actual status is that the managers have a quite big office, right, bigger than from the normal employees, of course, and we want to change it. And we have decided the minimum standard should be that when a manager is not in his office, all the other colleagues can use this office. And I also heard some information from other managers who are not involved in the project. They say, okay, when I lose my own office, then I'm not comfortable anymore with ECA. So you can see out of this reaction, it's not so easy, but we want to change this situation as well, because it gives a absolutely new way of corporate culture, because when the people do not have to walk to the manager, in the other hand, the manager is around the people, and then only that makes a big difference in how we want to act in the future. Space for collaboration. We wanted more innovative, as I said, agile structures like that, the openness, and the process should be very participative. That is also one big issue for us. I mean, the personal topic is one of our pillars in our corporate strategy, and therefore we want to be as well in this project very participative. So we decided not to make a decision top down. Otherwise, we used a group of different people and the user participants, and we decided for them, and we go the whole process with quite a big team of employees, and which we organized with M.O.O.CON workshops, and where we did a good job, and where we can reflect immediately the thinkings of our employees. And that's the question of the why. It's very important because you have to be clear itself for you and also for all the involved employees. First of all, as I said, we want to support our leadership culture and we want to change it. We want to become more collaborative and use these agile structures. Therefore, then with the goal of more creativity and motivation, then one as well as big reason was we want to optimize our office spaces, as I mentioned at the beginning, because with this new with this activity-based working, we can also optimize the working spaces so that we do not build our new office building right now, but maybe we can postpone it a few years. So our project should shine. I mentioned it already. We start only with two different departments. So we want to learn how this project how it will be a success, and we want to learn from these two departments, and if our form of implementing it would be right. I think we in the project team believe in this project, and therefore our meaning is the pilot should shine, and therefore that all the other departments and employees also want to join and want to reinvent their actual offices.
Yeah, and actually just not in Austria, but all over the other locations EGGER has. So there is this big vision to change EGGER completely, and that's quite a big change, I think, for you. I'm standing too close, so I might switch to the other side. Okay, let's dig deeper in the process and what we did together. And yeah, here you can see activity profiles, we call them, and that's one of the first steps we do with these focus groups. And we ask them, what do you do every day when you come to the office, and what did you did in the past, and what will you do in the future? And as you can see here, these are 3 different activity profiles. So this is an average profile of the EGGER IT department, and in the middle you have things they are going to do at the home office. So the different colors stands for different activities. The turquoise one is the routine work, the dark blue one is the focus work, the red one is like innovative developing work, the purple one is the meetings and planned exchanges, and the yellow one is the networking and the spontaneous come together. And this is how the IT department works at EGGER. And as you can see in the middle, they want to do most of the routine work and some of the focus work at home in the future. And this led us to the profile on the right side. So this is what they are going to do when they are in the office, which is just only 70% of their time during the week, which means a lot of desks will be empty if we don't change anything here. And after we did this, there was a huge, okay, this is interesting. We never reflected on things like that. And after that, we asked ourselves and we asked EGGER, and you can show this, what is the new role of your office and what are you going to achieve with the office in the future? And maybe, Rainer, what's your opinion on that?
No, thank you, Julia. I want to add one important thing. We are in our culture. We are really focused on facts. So doing this activity analysis or to get this activity profiles was for us the most important thing, because on the other hand, I mean, activity-based working, you can see it in all or in many other offices. It's a little kind of mainstream, but we want to build, or we want to reflect it in an EGGER way, and therefore it was for us very important to have our user group, and out of this user group, out of this activity analysis, we get the results, and we were discussing, okay, how is the actual situation and where we want to go. And one thing you can see is I personally was surprised that the concentrated or focus work is very high in our company. So you can say, okay, it's very productive or effective. On the other way, you can say, okay, we have more or less a lot of routine works, and the future but will be to be more collaborative, and therefore we have to change our working situation.
What we do with the activity profiles is we try to find out how many people will be in the office at a certain point, and this is just statistically, it's an average. You don't have to count on these numbers, and we don't put in 17 plus 21 desk and that's it and we are gone and say have fun with your new office. It's just a base to discuss, and we had a lot of discussions about that because, as you can imagine, managers are really skeptical about giving up any kind of desk or especially their offices. So what we did with these numbers on the right side, as you can see, if we do a small calculation about the 98 headcounts from the IT department, we come to the conclusion that just 70 persons will be in the office on a certain point. 4 persons will be out of the office and 19 persons will stay at the home office when we calculate 1 day a week, which is not the average, it was way below. And this is something we do as well. We put in some reserve factors, we do some security things in so that nobody can or nobody has to be afraid of wrong numbers and that we are too tight or too conservative. And this is what comes out here. So only 38 people need a desk on a certain point, on a certain moment. And this is something that blew their mind because they thought, okay, we are 100 people in the department and just 38 people really need a desk. And this is why we can't provide 100 desks, especially from sustainability point of views. So yeah, this was the base for discussions and workshop, and we had a lot of discussions and great inputs and really constructive workshops. And maybe you can switch to the next.
Actually, may add one thing, because if you look at the figures, I mean, it's unbelievable for the most of our peoples to think of that. In actual, we have 98 working places, and then only 38 places will be enough, and the others are at home or in other working situations or in other modules. We have really a lot of discussions because they can't believe it. Then it was a discussion about the sharing rate. I think the sharing rate will be at the start maybe 80%. So we want to start in a slight way. And at the beginning, it was also an interesting reaction, because I think most of the user group of the members thought that we want to modernize the offices, but as we said, that in connection with activity-based working, they will lose their fixed working place. There was a really negative reaction, because okay, I'm always sitting like 5 years on my place. That's my place. Where should I put the picture of my family, of my dog, of my cat? I don't know. And this is really a big change in mind. You can imagine. And I think this situation or this thinking about it or the concerns are not over, and therefore we set up a constantly process where we want to motivate the people as well as the managers to think in this new way. And a lot of discussions will follow. And when we set up the new situations, we have to look very carefully that the people also use the different working modules for different work, and not using the same working place whole the day, whole the weeks, whole the months. So we will have a quite good look at it, and it will be a lot of work to get the people in this direction.
Yes, that's why we normally do a big change management process as well, which is simultan zu dem Prozess, den ich gerade gezeigt habe. And here is the concept we developed together with the group. And as you can see, we changed. The biggest change is that we switched the manager's office from the most beautiful place in the whole building, from over here, where you have a huge view and the best view of the building, to the mountains, and they have to give it up and sit in the middle of the building right now, because we want to provide every employee the same quality of work desks, and that's what you can see an den Rändern. The turquoise color and the blue color is for the routine and focus work, and in the middle we will find some networking and collaboration modules, and this was the base concept we developed and discussed also in a couple of rounds with managers and top management.
Yeah, here you have to know to our building that you can see it on the picture. It was, or it is, quite new, but you have to know that the working places on the outside are much brighter, and therefore people like them most, instead of sitting within the building, and because therefore the light is not so bright than outside, and therefore when we used this building at the first time, it was a lot of discussion who will sit where, and with this new program it will be much more fairer for everybody. Okay, much more for the people who are now sitting inside, but that was also in our mind, that this situation we can now improve, and therefore, as Julia said, we put the standard working places or focus working places all in the outside of the building.
And just to give you a small impression, people call these over here Kerker. And these are fixed walls, and they thought there will never be a possibility to change anything on that. And if you see the renderings in a second, what we did here, and what we wanted to show them, that if we do some design work, because we can't change anything on the construction site here, then it will change a lot. And yeah, I will show you in a minute. Maybe you can go forward.
Mm-hmm.
These are the first renderings we received from the architects we work together with. And on the left side here is a small layout plan. And as you can see, we have another name they gave the building was Fußballfelder for the site right in the middle of the building, because it was all empty. There were some couches and some seats, but nothing else. And what we did is we tried to develop a huge networking, collaboration, communication space. So, and the desks on the sides, they are not important anymore for some of them, because they are really looking forward to work in these different possibilities and opportunities for communication and collaboration. And on the right side, this is a special work desk you can see here. It provides a work desk for 5 people and 2 temporarily working opportunities, and this is something new they came up with, the architects, and we also implemented in China in one of the small offices of EGA, and it's called the Bohne. And these small changes do a huge impact on the culture and the mood and the commitment, and because the Nutzergruppe was discussing this Bohne and they really were into it and designing it, and it helped a lot to go forward with the process.
So, and we've forgotten to say in the former slide, we have especially for the IT department, we've defined its so-called home bases, because the IT has in different areas, they have a ticketing system and they want to sit together. So therefore, I think we can combine activity-based working and as well the thinking of being a group, and therefore we call them home bases. So we defined that in some areas, normally people of the same areas are working together because of having more communication, having more discussions about topics, or when somebody is on the phone describing some situations that the younger people, a younger colleague can also learn from this. So we don't want to lose this kind of collaboration for some areas. Therefore, we called them home bases, and that was also for us important, and was also the wish of the user group. Therefore, I have to say, for us, it is important to implement something which show our vision and is flexible enough to change the modules after time when activity-based working is more common, is more used. But we want to start in a soft form, so because we don't want to lose the people. We are very valuable of our people, and therefore we do it in a soft way, and we think that for our company culture it's the right way, not to reinvent everything and don't ask the people and say, okay, that's the new way of working with ECA. If you're interested in, you can join, and if you don't, yeah, it's up to you. That's not our culture, and therefore I think with this situation, with this way of starting, we have all the possibilities, and also our vision is reflected.
Yeah, let's have a last look at the space profile, and afterwards maybe you have some questions, because then Rainer, as I told you, is gone. And as you can see here on the left side, you have the same colors, and on the right side as well. And in the middle, this is the average activity profile I showed you before. And on the left side, you can see a space profile. So we analyzed the space they have now. And on the right side, you can see what will change in the profile when we do the things we develop together. And the biggest change might be the routine work. They now provide a lot of desks just for the single work, for the focus and the routine work. And in the future, there are less desks, but way more of opportunities to network and work together. And this is something that made a huge aha in the group. And people were really, they understand the sense why M.O.O.CON was there. This wasn't clear through the whole process. And they thought we just wanted to implement something they don't even like. But this was really something that helped a lot. And I don't know if you have questions to Rainer, because we just have these 5 minutes left. If you have any, or not even, right? not even 5 minutes. If some of you have maybe, yeah.